This is Julien, and I'm here in Vienna, Austria. And what I want to talk about today is being willing to start without seeing every single step of the way. Okay, I see this day in and day out. You have your goals in life, your dreams, all these different pursuits. And instead of just starting, just taking step by step, taking action, you kind of just sit on the sidelines. You wait for a contract or guarantee of success. You want this game plan or this map of every single step you're going to have to take, when you're going to have to take them, what kind of step to take. So it's very predictable and it's very safe. You want to see it all. You're like, okay, I don't just want to jump in, to this uncertainty and to the unknown. I want to know, I'm going to do this, and then this is going to happen, then I'm going to do this. And you're stuck in this painful emotional state. You're in limbo instead of progressing or expanding. You're always doubting yourself. That burns you up inside, the fact that you're not progressing. You're killing your purpose in life, let's just say, your course and purpose in life. You're just putting it on hold, and it just gets worse and worse and worse. So the first thing I want to touch on here is, why is this bad? Because you hear it like, hey, have a logical game plan for every single step of the way. Plan, be very, careful so you don't get into these like pitfalls that just fuck you up. And the reason it's bad is, as I mentioned before, it's never going to happen. Okay, we live in a world that's just changing so fast that this long-term precise vision, it doesn't exist. Okay, not a single person I know can look into the future, say year, 2 year, 3, 4, 5 years ahead and know exactly all the different things that are going to happen and how he's going to achieve his goal. Everyone, of course, has a general vision, and you should have that, like, hey, I want to be in this position here and continuously focus on that. But along the way, you're going to encounter many fucking obstacles, and a lot of them you just can't predict. They're just going to blow up in your face, and if you're just waiting to be sure that every single step is there, you're done. Okay, on top of that too, guess what? You're gonna be psyched out. Okay, you're gonna be like, oh my God, there are all these steps to take, and you're just never gonna do it because it's overwhelming. Okay, and I see this all the time. Even me right now, if I look back at my journey, say from Switzerland 9 years ago, working my way up to where I'm at here, if I had to pre-plan all those little steps, I would never even do it in the first place. It would just be too much. Okay, so this is one of the advantages of just starting now. Just do the first step. Even if you don't really know where the next one's going to be, just start now. Okay, on one hand, it's realistic and it's not too overwhelming. Whatever it is you're trying to pursue, there is something you can do right now. Even as you're watching this video, you can probably pause this video and do something that'll kind of kickstart you in the right direction. You won't get overwhelmed, and guess what? It's going to start building momentum. Okay, and this is key. Every single step of the way, it's a little easier to do the next step, and the next step, and the next step, and the next step. And then they just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and it becomes easier and easier and easier. Okay, huge, huge, huge. Start building that momentum, start baby stepping your way there, and realize too that a lot of what you learn, okay, let's just say in life, is on the job lessons versus preparing beforehand. A lot of the skills you're gonna need to deal with all these different obstacles, you're gonna have to learn them through trial and error. You can't just sit at home, logically think, pre-plan, try to be like, maybe this. It has to be through real life experience, okay? And kind of get used to it, this uncertainty, this unknown, because that's the world we live in. If you look at me now, in terms of how I built my brand in the dating world, let's just say, I didn't know all the different steps I was going to take. I just pretty much had a general vision of what I wanted to do, and I just started trying different things, trying different lanes, until something just kind of clicked. Then I'd run with that. Then maybe an obstacle would pop up, like, maybe I'll do this now, maybe I'll do this, and I just kept moving forward, not thinking too far ahead, just focusing on the next step, the next step, the next step, the next step. Okay, now, be careful there too not to get stuck on one step, just keep moving forward, but embrace that feeling of unknown. Even now with this channel here, you may be asking yourself like, what's the direction, what's the goal? And to be honest, I don't fucking know right now. I really don't. I have a general idea of where I want to take this, but not everything's planned out. I'm just starting one step at a time, okay? And then the more steps you take, what are you also doing? You're adjusting your selective focus. And we all have this, Until you actually take action and you kind of launch, you're going to be blocking out a lot of opportunities. But let's just say you take that first step. Like even with this channel, putting the first video out. Okay, and I'll put a little link here. Click on it, check it out. As soon as I put that video out, it kind of launched me in the direction of starting this new channel. And suddenly my mind started focusing, what are all these books I can read? What are all this content? How can I apply my life? Like, what did I learn here? How can I share this? Oh, different opportunities, collaborations, motivational videos, so on and so forth. That all came from that first fucking step. But guess what? I didn't know where that was going to come. I just took a step, and I assumed and I trusted myself that whenever I reach the next step, I'd find a fucking solution. And that's really it. It's like one step at a time, that self-trust, and just kind of basking in the unknown. And even here, who knows what'll fucking happen with this channel, but that's what makes it interesting. You know, it's not predictable, it's not boring. You're just embracing it, and whatever happens, happens. Whatever the next step is, who knows? Okay, so fucking key, so start fucking now. And if you actually want to take this a little deeper, okay, one thing you can do is question, okay, the consequences. Because that's really it. You know, you fear doing the wrong thing or kind of fucking up, if you will, but what is it that you really fear? You know, what are the consequences and how bad are they really? You know, we tend to overblow things. Like whatever it is, you know, you're pursuing now, most likely you're like, oh my God, if I just don't do it right, you know, if I don't take that right first step and I know how everything's gonna fit up, I'm just gonna fuck up. And what does fucking up really look like? Is it really that bad? Is it really, or are you just kind of overblowing it? And we always tend to overblow it. You know, it's a self-preservation mechanism in a way where whenever we're dealing with the unknown, we're like, oh my God, it's so bad. But realistically, is it? Okay, and even if it is, and this is the second part, it's like actually take yourself to the worst case scenario, you know, and start questioning it. Why is that so bad? What's so wrong about that? What if everything just goes to shit? Is it really the end of the world? Is it really worth such emotional pain? Okay, and by taking yourself to the worst case scenario, you just get rid of a lot of resistance. Okay, and then from there, let go. Okay, realize that a lot of your emotions are because you're placing certain labels on the courses of action. One is right, the other is wrong. Why do you do that? There is no right or wrong. They're just labels, okay? Stop trying to live your life or making your life a quest of right or wrong. From that comes judgment. Just view it more so as expansion. No matter what I do, I'm expanding. You can't fuck up. Whatever course of action you decide to take, okay, even if it is the quote-unquote wrong one, it's just bringing you closer and closer to your goal of expanding. You're expanding no matter what. You do right, awesome, you expand. You do wrong, you expand. It just brings you closer and closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. You can't fuck up. And kind of viewing life that way is very comforting. It's like, fuck, I can just kind of embrace it, you know? Life won't give you what you want, it will give you what you need, and it's not always comfortable, but it just brings you closer and closer towards that goal. Expanding. That's really it. Okay, so to kind of wrap this up here, start now. Doesn't matter if you do right or you do wrong. Doesn't mean you're bad. Okay, you're expanding either way. By starting, you start creating momentum. Okay, you don't get psyched out. You keep it realistic. It kind of adjusts your selective focus, and yeah, I mean, you really don't even know what you like until you start doing it. That's huge, you know. And I see this with, you know, a little linkage to dating advice here. Guys are like, you know what, I want this type of girl, and they say that, but they don't really know what they want until they actually experience it. You know, by going, say, through different relationships, like, oh, you know what, actually I want this, I was wrong. You don't know. You may tell yourself, this is my dream, this is what I want to do, and then you start doing it, you're like, maybe not, maybe I'll try this. And that just comes from, of course, taking action. Okay, so get on it now, have fun with it, you can't fuck up, and as always, until next time.